I got you, I swear. That's the problem.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thanks for attending this evening. I'd like to call the meeting to order, 7:30. Stand, pledge, short motion. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Heavenly Father, we thank you that we could gather in this place, Lord, and we just ask that the things we do here in this meeting help to make our township a better place and be with all those employees as they're out working. It's in your name. Amen. Any changes to the agenda?
I got nothing.
Nothing for me.
Okay. I don't have anything either. That may be a first. Okay, we're gonna move on. We need to approve the meeting minutes, pardon me, but we do have a written in correction. What's the first page? There it is. Okay, so we just have a write-in, but it's already been printed, so as long as we approve it with the correction is simply, in print, it says fire truck, it should be squad 255, and in print, it says diesel, and it should be gas. So that's been written in, so as long as we
Under
approve it.
what line item?
So this is line item 22-204.
Okay.
It's under that,
Yeah.
It's not a resolution. It was
Yeah, it's just a
Just a
clerical error.
comment, okay.
Yep.
Trustee Greer moves to accept the minutes with corrections.
Trustee Griffith, seconds.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Approval of the treasurer's report.
Trustee Griffith recommends to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
Trustee Pugh, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Mary, would you mind grabbing me the clipboard? I'm so sorry. Next up is public speaks. Thank you. That's for you, sir. Thank you very much. Mr. Ken Michael, how are you?
I'm fine. How
Good,
about you?
sir. Good. Thanks for coming tonight. If you don't mind just standing up here kind of semi-close to the mic, it'll catch you. And if you could just state your name and your address for us, and you could tell us why you're here.
Kenneth Michael, 5342 Water Street, Northeast, Canton.
Thank you.
Couple reasons why I'm here. Brenda knows about why, but the other night, the neighbors have been complaining about the culverts washing out on our lower side of our driveway. And
On Walters then?
on Walters, yes. They've washed out, and I myself have, on my driveway, I put concrete down to keep it from washing. But the ones down below, they don't, it just washes out, and the culverts are deteriorating. They're rotting away because they're metal culverts, and they feel that, something should be done. I mean, I guess, I don't know about the township roads, but don't you have 15 feet easement off the center each way?
It varies off of each road what the road right of way is.
Okay,
Depends. Like Indian Run is 60 foot, but that's an exception to the
yeah,
rules.
that's way,
It's excessive. Believe me, I know.
yeah, it is.
They want us to change their culverts?
Well, change them or fix them, yeah, or see.
Are they
I guess a
driveway
couple
culverts?
years-
Are you talking about driveway
Are they
culverts?
driveway culverts?
Yes.
They're all driveway culverts? Okay.
Well, the culverts go all the way down through, along the highways are filled,
The whole ditch is clogged.
You're saying the ditch is filled with pipe in it?
yes.
Oh,
Once that's covered up,
yeah.
So,
But this has been covered up for a long time. You're saying it's
Yes.
all quote metal steel.
Yeah.
Mr. Michael, from your address, which direction are we headed? Like, which is it?
Here, I'm gonna get you.
You're getting us up the picture here?
I'm about in the middle.
You're about in the middle? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not towards the top of the hill, but not
No,
quite.
I'm down half,
Okay.
just about two houses, 2 lots, 3 lots down.
Gotcha.
I don't know if you know Bobby Jesłowski, but I bought his old house. That's where we
So when you bought, your property was already closed in. You did, when you.
Yeah, I didn't close mine, and it was already closed in. I think Bobby might have done that, but I think my part is plastic, or culverts, but down farther, it's all metal. My neighbor's right next to me. Theirs is, washed out 2 or 3 times, and we filled them in with rocks and everything, and it just keeps washing right back
Okay.
out.
So, Mr. Michael, when it washes out, is it actually removing the earth and you're seeing the top of the pipe?
Yes,
Okay.
it's washing into the culvert.
And do you feel like is the pipe clogged or is it doing its job? It's just too much water.
I'm not sure about
Okay.
that, you know, I think the water seems to be running down,
Yeah, because this is,
washing the driveway, so evidently it's not doing its job.
what would you say, 75% of that road, Stu, it's a hill? I mean, it all
I don't
flows.
think it's much of a hill, is
Yeah,
it?
it is.
Yeah, it's a hill all the way
It's
down.
hill from Broadway clear to the top, and
It's
then
like-
it's really steep going
It's
down.
really
there.
steep.
It's like your driveway out there.
Mhm.
It's steep. The backside of water is really steep.
The back one's the steep one.
Yes,
Looking at that, is the cell tower that we talked about before, is that to the right?
It's on the left-hand side.
No,
as
I'm
you're
looking
going.
at the screen.
Yeah.
On the screen.
Let me fade away.
Yeah, so Broadway's to
Right
your
here,
right.
Broadway, you're going up in here and the
Yeah.
clock tower's
Broadway's
right
right
Okay.
here. Broadway's right here.
So the cell tower is about
Okay.
5
Right up
parcels
in here.
up to the left. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, before you get to the top of the hill, it's a cell tower.
here.
Is
Yeah.
that where they just, Stark County engineers worked on all
They
that?
just replaced the
All this
the
stuff
catch basin here on the other side.
right in
They,
this area.
they replaced it where you see the black hole right there, here, and down in the yard.
Right.
Clear across. Replaced all that.
So all of these ditches on all waters are all closed.
No,
no,
no, because right here, it is a driveway and it's closed right here, and then you see open ditch, open
Oh, I
ditch.
see it. I see it. I see
But
it.
there's only a few places like that.
Okay. I can see it now. Yep.
I'm not sure if they're having problems on that side of the hill. It's
It's the side you're on.
the other side of the hill that we're having the problems. It just keeps washing out the ends of the driveways,
You're right.
especially when we get.
So you're talking back in here, going down the back of the steep
Yeah.
side?
Yes. And
On
Tim
the-
Collins lives down at the end.
At the end, right?
Yes.
He's right
So
here.
it's the side with the field, not the side with Broadway, which would be which direction, which way are we facing?
Yeah, you're talking on the
Broadway's
south-
out here.
You're talking
That's
on
the
the south
south.
side.
The south
South side.
Yeah.
Yeah, south side.
So how did they all get closed in? Because that's not typically something that would be done.
It was done before I even came here.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of it was done way back.
It sounds
So-
like it sounds like you got a problem downwind, and then it's just coming up to the easiest spot it can. And that's where the driveways are. It's whether it's bad the whole way, or you just got a blockage down there then it's backing up, coming out there. You know what I mean?
Right, well, it could be because there's holes, it seems to be creating a hole where the top of the culvert's rusted out and, you know.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
So that's where you're finding the holes, is where the culvert
Yeah,
rusts
my
through and
neighbor,
it drops
my
in.
neighbor right next to me is where the first hole is, right? And it's right at his mailbox. And then there was a hole in his driveway, but we put big gooey rocks in there to try to keep it from washing anymore. And they seem to be staying right now, but it's washing the loose stuff out around them.
Okay.
So the current policy of the township, because we don't have funding for this, if somebody wants their culvert closed in, or not their culvert closed in, but their driveway, put a culvert in under their driveway, we do that, but they have to pay for the culvert pipe. And then our road crew will do that. But for as far as the rest of the ditches, the counties went to a policy, they want ditches open. And so they're not covering anything on closed ditches. and we don't close ditches in when it's on, that's considered private property. The only thing we'll do is put a culvert in your driveway if you pay for the cost of the
Stone and
Pipe.
pipe.
Well, but if you do close it in, you close it in under our inspection at your cost.
Right. Right. Like if you don't have to have us put your driveway culvert in.
No.
You want to have somebody else put it in, that's fine, but we need to inspect it, and make sure you put it in right.
Well, but even if you're not doing a driveway, if you're doing in front of your
Oh,
yard.
even the yard, right?
It-
Exactly.
We don't install it, but we inspect
Exactly.
it to make sure the depths are correct. So you
So
don't
they
have.
don't end up with a problem. But it sounds like in this case, the pipes are just old and rusting out.
Yeah, below me, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Is there ditches cleaned out between each point, or is
These
it,
are all-
There's no,
They're all
there's
covered,
actually no
covered.
ditches
so the whole entire
The whole entire thing is covered.
thing's
on both sides. It's, the far side doesn't seem, the right side doesn't seem to have a problem. Because the road kind of leans toward the left, so all the water comes down, it rolls right
Yeah.
into the left side. So when we get a heavy rain, there's a lot of, I mean, it's like a creek that runs down through there.
Now you wish the ditch was open because it's not collecting any of that water.
right. And with the
Right.
holes
It's just
in the
running right
pipe,
over the culvert.
it's just probably filling up the pipe with stuff
Yeah.
that's washing down through.
Right.
Now, you may not know this, Mr. Michael, but if it's pouring down rain at the end of Waters, does it dump out into that field?
I don't know.
It
Okay.
does in a sense.
Okay.
There's like a
supposed to.
waterway, it goes down through
Yeah,
there.
it's supposed to.
It does. That's where it's gotta go.
That's where it's got to go. That's gravity.
We're just
Because
wondering, is it
we
open?
turn around, you
Yeah.
can see, we come down here,
And you
turn in right here, back up a little bit. There's culverts that come down here and go underneath, and they kick out right here. See where there's like a waterway go down? That's
Yep.
where all the water is going.
Okay.
Now, I don't know about right here. The one that's on the south side might follow this down into this wood line here.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and I'm thinking.
I've
if-
never paid attention to that.
I'm thinking if the top of if you've got multiple spots that it's rusted through and the earth fell down into it, that pipe is most likely clogged
Most likely.
because all of it has to go someplace and gravity's going to let it go down in the pipe if it rusts through. Okay.
There is a catch basin right north of my,
Thank you.
north of my mailbox, which is doing its job, but as it goes down through, I think it's coming back out and washing out the neighbors. Because there's a catch basin on both sides of that lower driveway. I have two driveways, but, then down by his mailbox, it's just a big hole and they keep trying to fill it in and just wash it right back out.
Well, that's probably not helping the situation. That's probably making it worse.
Yeah.
Just shoving stuff down in the holes, but the sad reality of it is, it's probably got this.
Well, it's not the hole that's in the grass is, they don't mess with. It's the hole that's in the driveway.
Driveway.
You have
Right.
to drive in and out.
Right. So you're under the impression that the culverts under your driveway are plastic.
Yeah, because there was my catch basin is plastic coming up. I assumed they were. I think Bobby put them in himself. He replaced them or whatever.
Well, I replaced somebody's culvert in their driveway back around 13 or 14, kind of down here, and they widened their driveway wider.
Okay.
And there was a catch basin right there, a T.
is that like the crown of it, right where you,
Are you
I
on the crest?
visualize as you go up Walters, you're going up an upward slope, and then when you get to the top, is that about where you are before?
No, I'm
He's starting down.
down.
You're
farther.
starting down the back.
You're starting down the hill.
I'm down the back
All
side.
right.
If you
Well, right
see
here's
the row-
10. How many houses are you up from 10?
Well, if you
Four
see the
houses.
row of pine trees there?
Yeah.
All right, I'm right, they're right below, they're right
Yeah,
above.
he's right there. Right where your
Right-
cursor
right
is, where
there.
there's two driveways in that plot. That's it.
Yes. that's me.
5342. That's it right there.
Yeah,
I
So
think
the
that's
crest is
right.
at the pine trees and it comes down.
How long have you owned that?
I've been there 34,
Oh.
20.
I thought that was the driveway where I widened that and
No,
replaced somewhere here I did. It might have been right here.
Are they
Down the
having
hill
problems above you?
no,
It's all below
it's
you.
all below
So
me.
you're only talking, what, 4 properties?
4 properties, 4 parcels, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Have you talked to those?
On both
four
sides of the street?
No, just this.
I've only talked to my neighbors, it's, we're real close and, we do things together and
Sure.
they just keep telling me, this is something should be done, so. And I thought, well, I'm coming, I'm here actually for a different reason, but I said, well, please bring that up to them, point that out and see what they can do.
Probably at this point, their best option is to remove the pipe and open the ditch back up.
And that's hard to know.
Well, or
It's hard
replace
to
it,
know.
if you replaced it with catch basins, I'm sure it'd probably worked fine for years, but,
Need to go up and evaluate it.
right.
You guys, because that would be hard to figure that
Because
out.
the
without
pipe's all
looking
got
it over.
rotten.
Well, how about me and Stu will run out there sometime and take a look at it, we'll come out and take a look at it.
Take a
See
look.
what's going on. I'm the road liaison, so we'll come out and take a look at it and see what's happening.
Okay.
All right, you had something else on your mind, sir. Go ahead.
I talked to Brenda about it, the property that you guys acquired on that's having the estate sale on the
Suco's
69.
property. Which way? For the record, we still don't have it yet.
I know, but you will have it in the future.
We do.
Yes, it's just a long time drawn out thing, and I understand that. But our interest is we have an LE motorcycle club that it's called the Delaware Sentinel Warriors Club. LE is law enforcement motorcycle club. The Sentinels are guards. It's called the Guards, and we're the Delaware chapter, which is named after the Delaware Indians that's in the area. We support our country, our Constitution. That we're not associated at all with the 1% clubs like the Hells Angels. Actually, they don't like us because we have a lot of retired military. We have a lot of troopers and all that in our club. It's a lot of so we're starting a charter. The main club is in Mifflin, Ohio, which is the Mohawks, the Mohawk Indians, and we're starting this one because it's so far for us to go. We're getting people involved, and basically what we do is we put on like poker runs. We have fundraisers and everything. And we go to the fire department, the police department, and everything. We ask, well, what do you need? And we do fundraisers to help them and get them the money that they need to, get the stuff that they can keep on going. And basically, that's our goal. But we do rides, and we wear a cup, a vest. I wanted to bring it. My wife said no.
She vetoed you. She vetoed you.
Yeah, she vetoed me. But if we're on Facebook, you can go into Facebook and put in Sentinel Warriors, LE, MC, and it'll show us. He's actually changing our website, so there's a lot of that's not been changed over or on there, but it'll tell you about we're brothers and sisters that are on this side of the wall. And basically also, if you guys are having trouble raising some money for something, you come to us and and we'll help you out. And the police department, fire department, sheriff's department, whatever. And once we get situated here, I'm asking about, I knew it was empty for a long time, and I thought, well, what's going on? And then the neighbor directed me to Brenda, and then she was telling me, what you guys, and what you're having plans. And we are interested in just having our club there, and we would take care of the grounds. We will fix anything that has to be fixed. We have painters, and I'm a retired carpenter. I've built houses complete. We can fix anything and do anything and keep the place up and running, whatever. as far as the electrician, I know you have electrical problems. I know electrician, but, I don't know if they have to go through the bank or whatever, because the bank still owns it.
Yeah.
But that's why, I'm here, to just, ask for that.
When I told Ken that our thought process was at some point we would hire a caretaker and probably let them live in the house as long as they watched over the property and did the caretaking of the whole thing. And that's what he was interested in.
Yeah. And we really don't know. I mean, you probably know better than we do. We don't know
We don't know what it looks like.
how much of a house is there. It looks more like a garage
It's
than
big, yeah.
anything else.
The big
So-
garage, behind the garage is actually another room that you have to walk around and get into the back. There's only one little small door. There's a room behind the garage. It's about, I think it's 10 or 12 feet wide. That's the whole width of the garage. When she put that addition on, she did that. Why, I don't know. But then it has the one-car garage. It has a kitchen, just go through the door, there's a kitchen, and it's kind of like an open floor plan somewhat. There's a fireplace, and it's really a nice house if it was fixed up. And then you have a set of steps you go up, and you have these big double doors that you open. It looks like king from they look like a king from out of a castle or something, they're beautiful. And then there's a room in the back, has a bathroom, and then her bedroom was off to kind of like behind everything there. And it's basically a one-bedroom house.
Yeah.
Well, it could be two.
So are you looking for something to put your program in here on a basis of event? Or are you looking for something that you'd need all the time?
All the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, if we have a clubhouse, any changes we would want to do, we'd come and, say, hey, can we do this? Or you say, yeah or nay, if there's any changes. But we usually put in a bar because some of our guys drink. But the bar, there's no money that's exchanged. We have our drinks and everything, and when they come in, they buy a drink ticket over here when they come in the door, and then that's how we have to have a liquor license.
So you're looking to hold meetings there, but you're looking to do what else besides that? Are you wanting to park like your stuff there? You want to keep what are you looking to do inside the building?
Well, just having meetings in the house area, yeah. You can, if you guys want to use the garage to store stuff, that's fine. But we're looking for a place to have meetings.
Okay.
We have meetings twice a month, just like you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And you're always welcome to come. If, it's always an open meeting.
Yeah, where do you have them now? Like, where do you have
Right now, we still go over to the Mohawk, and we have our third member that actually started because we have to have three officers. We have officers, president, vice president. I'm the road captain, and we have security officers. The place is always locked up. Anybody that they have to sign in, they can't get in. Strangers can't walk in and just go in and start drinking. They have to sign in. They have to be invited in. And they have to be. Our security officer is always watching over them, so nothing happens. Basically, it's a pretty tight group, but we have family fun days where we get the kids come out and bouncy houses and stuff. We have the kids have fun days. We have picnics. Just for everybody to get together.
Okay.
And enjoy.
A couple of things just to make you aware of kind of where we are on this property. So we obviously, we're going to be receiving this through a trust.
Right.
And so one of the things that's, I guess, good and bad in the same sentence is the trust and will were very vague, but it specifically says there needs to be a park built in the name of the Sukos family.
Right,
So we as trustees have to do our best to navigate what that looks like.
right.
I can tell you right now, there's not enough funds to build another building to be able to, we may have to use that building for all the things that we need. But our job is to follow the trust and per Huntington Bank, because they are the trustee holder. So Huntington Bank holds the funds. We are in charge of doing what we need to make the project happen. But we may be hands tied, even running it out to anyone other than what is focused for the park. Because that's really our job, is to create a park in this space per the wishes of this family. They left us land and they left us a chunk of money, a sizable chunk of money, but not enough to be able to, everyone gets to pick what they want. You know, we're gonna have to fundraise, we're gonna have to grant write, and we're gonna have to do a lot of those things. It's gonna take some time. And the other thing that jumps out at me, because we spent a lot of time on this in the zoning world as well, to just get a liquor license in Osnaburg Township is not going to be.
We don't need a liquor license.
That's fine, but we're now talking about a private club on township property. So we have to be very careful. Like, we don't own it, the trust owns it, but we're in charge of it.
Okay.
That makes sense. And so there's certain things we have to abide by per the taxpayer. So a private club on township property would probably be frowned upon, because we're in the business of being open and forthcoming. You know, anyone come to our meetings, all the records are open. We're a government entity. We have to be. And so we may run into a issue there as well. So I love your cause, and I think it's an amazing thing. But to me, it's right up front, those are the two things. A, we have to do what they're asking per this will and trust, which is kind of vague, but build a park and put it in our name. And we also have to live by the rules of our zoning, because we spend a lot of time making sure people are doing the right things in our township, building buildings correctly, putting in pools, having the right zoning in the right spaces. And so we have to be a little bit careful that we're making sure to do a service to our township residents, our taxpayers, as you are one of them, and as are we, you know. So those were, would you guys have anything else to add to that?
I would just add, since we haven't even seen the bill and we don't know the condition it's in, it's really hard to commit to anything until we actually see what we have. And we actually have a conservationist person that's looking at the property to try to evaluate where it would be best to do anything on the property, what we need to remove from the property for like an invasive species and all that kind of stuff. So we're waiting to get that report back. We don't have that back yet either.
Well,
It's just been a very slow process.
yeah, I think you can definitely say the door isn't closed, but I don't think we're anywhere close to where we can make any kind of decision on
Right.
what we can do yet till we get more farther down the road. If you know what I mean. It's
Right.
Well,
I'm not saying
I
it's
just
gonna
wanted to
work.
present
No,
it
absolutely.
and have you guys, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
I invited him to come so he
Absolutely.
could speak
No,
for on behalf
I'm
of
not
us.
saying yes or no. We just don't know yet.
Yeah,
We just
yeah.
got it till we
And
get down the road.
something else that we're new to this, and something else that the trustee through Huntington shared, which I think is a smart thing to share. You know, let's just pretend it's all done and there's a couple pavilions and there's a park and all these things. His comment was, if you charge for it, you have to be prepared to pay the liability when somebody gets hurt. If it's free, you're off the hook. And so we're kind of navigating all of these things. Do you charge per pavilion, or does it even make sense to pay the insurance for the $50 charge of the pavilion? So as we work through this, as it grows, and especially being that you guys are local in the community, I could absolutely see an event with your organization happen at this park when it's there, of course, you know, in a pavilion or in some places like that. I'd like to see us work together in the future on some of that, whether it's the clubhouse is there or not. I'd like to see us work together in some of those, because we want to see that space being used, and so does the Sukos family. That's the whole reason they left it in our care. They want to see it actively being used. So, and the chunk of acres there is 50 acres.
Yes.
It's a large chunk of land.
She had adjoining 52, didn't she?
So it's a large chunk of property that we have to kind of navigate through, and also not do too much that our little group here can sustain and keep up with. And like you said, you know, you guys were willing to do some of that maintenance, which would, you know, that's great. So I definitely think we're pretty early, but I appreciate you coming and sharing with us both the road issues that we're going to work on and maybe future programs together. Great.
And we'll be on, look at that and get back with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Do I need to
Appreciate
stay?
No, you don't.
You-
I mean,
You're welcome.
you're welcome to stay, but it gets pretty boring.
Gets pretty-
So you said I might.
You might fall asleep. I don't know how tired you are.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Nice meeting you all.
Yes.
And hope to see you all again soon.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to the fire report.
Okay. I have a couple of things. One is a staffing update. So we were at 18, which is great. We're not gonna be at 18. I have had one resignation. One is Sean Nelson. He is retiring. So he is retiring from Perry Fire, which is his full-time job. And so he is also leaving the area as he retires from there. So he turned in his resignation.
And you have that in writing?
I do.
Would you like to do
I
that
don't have
tonight?
it with me, but I can
Okay.
certainly get a
Do you
copy
know
of
when
it.
it was effective, like when he's
What's
saying
effective?
the end of this month, or is it done now? or- Because the board can make a resolution to accept it.
I mean, yeah, so he has not worked this month or the last month.
Oh, so he doesn't have a paycheck coming?
Mm-mm.
Okay,
No, so I
We're
mean, it
okay
can
then.
be September 1st, it can be tonight, it can be whatever date.
All right.
Yeah, he's not.
Well,
he's
I
not on the
wouldn't
schedule.
make it any earlier than tonight since this is the first we've heard about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
He just turned it in on Thursday,
okay.
so. I have another staff member who has accepted a position in another state, so he will be leaving as well at the end of the month. He has not given me that letter yet. He just sent an email or a text message that said, "Hey, heads up, I got the job." I was like, "Great."
Okay.
So that is DJ Williams. And then Austin Miller, who we had hired a few months ago here, switched units and he is deploying for a year. He's in the reserves and he is serving another deployment. So he is currently training up in Michigan and he'll be leaving here for a year. So he will stay on the roster. We're not.
I was gonna ask about that. How does that work? He stays on?
So with previous employees, I mean, he would stay on the roster. He would just be inactive while he's gone for that year.
Do we need to do anything for any of these folks as a thank you for being here? Who's been here the longest?
Sean has been here.
I mean, he's the one retired. The other ones are going to different jobs and being
Mhm.
deployed, so I don't think that
But
Sean
even
would
at
be the one.
retiring, I don't think he's been with us that long.
Okay.
Just a couple
Sounds
years
good.
ago.
And then the other question is, can we use any of this turnout gear?
Yes, so Sean
Great.
has already been assigned to one of the new guys. It
Oh,
fits in,
good.
We're good to go. That was good. And we can see with the other ones, I think DJ still works one more shift this month. So I don't want to quite swipe his stuff yet, but we can for sure see, we should be okay for right now. My hope is, I feel like with my schedule and my staffing, it was one step forward, two steps back. Like every time I'm like, all right, this month looks really good. And then I'm like, next month, I don't know. So I would like to try and hire those two people back. I don't specifically have people right now to fill those spots, but I really feel like we would like to get those couple spots filled again. So I'm definitely keeping my ears open for some people that are trained that would be able to benefit in those spots. Both of those people came to us fully trained, working other places. I mean, they were pretty easy to.
This is Williams and Miller.
No, this would be Sean and
Nelson and
Nelson and Williams. Yes.
Williams.
Because my question is, right now, we're good on all training or anything that we have committed to from the township on any of these guys.
They don't owe any money back.
None of them owe us anything.
Okay.
No.
So really, if I'm understanding, Sean Nelson will be retiring, so that he will be off the roster. But
Correct.
Williams and Miller would be on inactive.
No,
Williams
Williams
is
is
off.
leaving. He's moving to another
Williams will be
state.
off.
Just resigning.
And then Miller would be on inactive.
Yes.
So that's what you have to
Yeah.
work your resolution.
All right, well, we're not gonna do anything with Williams and Miller until they give you something in writing. We're gonna only do Sean because you have it in writing.
Yeah, I have.
Okay,
his.
great. All right, trustee Varian moves to accept the resignation of Sean Nelson effective August 22nd, 2022.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And then we won't do anything with Williams and Miller until we have something from them.
That's fine.
Great.
Captain Nelson and I went back and counted. We are only getting 24 radios. So you said the county said we have 25.
What I'll do, and do you have your sheet that you had like this, that you can verify that?
Yep.
And get that to me?
Yep.
Because then when I go to the Stark County Commissioners, I'll show them that to see if
Okay.
there's anything that they might have that
Okay.
I'm not aware of for some reason.
Or if it's something we thought we were getting from another department and didn't get.
Right.
I mean, they all have serial numbers. So that, I mean,
If you can get me
Yeah.
that updated
I can.
grid that you did for us already,
yep, he created one that has the mobiles on it too.
Okay.
So there's 5 mobiles.
that way
So-
when I present it to Stark County Commissioners, I can see if we can get it down to the 24 to
Yeah.
match, or if there was
Okay.
something else.
Okay. We are due for ladder testing. It's actually an annual thing, and we've checked. 2019 was the last time we did it. Captain Nelson actually worked out a pretty good deal where the company is coming to Perry, and if we take our ladders to Perry, so they would just been on the trucks taken over there, they will do it like $1.30, $1.80 per foot. So he figured out it's going to cost $130 if we take them to Perry, which every other company coming to us was around $500. So
Name of that company again is?
I gotta look.
$1.80 a foot.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. I can tell you that name here in just a minute. So that would be CFS is the company.
Say again?
CFS. And they're doing Perry's ladders in September. If we take them to Perry, it's $1.80 per foot. If they came to us, it would be $500.
And do you know, I'm gonna assume we'll get a bill, or is
We
that
would.
something you're gonna get? Is it gonna be mailed to us? How are we gonna get?
Yeah, it would be invoiced to us when they.
Okay.
Mhm.
And you said you had a date for Perry's ladder test?
I don't, it's in September.
Okay.
They'll be there in September.
But she's under 250, so we can just.
Yep.
Do we need to prove the action, take the ladders there? or we just do it?
The pump testing is what?
The pump testing is more expensive. So the pump testing is when we have each one of our trucks pump tested.
Yeah,
So
'cause I
they'll,
was thinking that was hundreds a lot.
yeah, it will be. I don't have a price on that yet. I just wanted to let you know that the guy who has done it for years, who is retired from Louisville, has retired. So we are having to look into some other companies, either Advantech or Fallsway. Either place, we're gonna have to take the trucks there. I believe one of them will come out and do it. Again, it's way more expensive, so I don't have a final on that yet. Just know that that is coming. It's an annual thing again.
Where's
Trustee-
the Dantech?
That's the one in Midvale.
Advantech's in Midvale.
What about this one on Southway? What's the name of that place that,
E1 something, yeah.
Will they do pump testing? We can certainly.
they build new
I would
trucks?
say
They
with
say they
fuel,
work on it.
I'd say with
Right.
fuel and stuff the way it is, if we can try something closer to Advantech, that'd be great. I know it's gonna be way more
I don't really
money.
like driving down there.
No, no one wants to drive down there.
They do all the checks and everything.
Okay.
300 point check or whatever. they want to say.
I'm not sure 100% what the name of it is, but it's down on
I think I might have a
Southway.
card in there.
Okay. I will definitely look into that one. It's usually about this time of year that we do it, and when we went to contact the guy who's always done it, he's like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that anymore.
So we don't need a motion for the ladder testing because it's under, but if you can just get fiscal officer Larry, everything he needs to get that paid, and then we'll wait to hear back from you on the pump testing. Okay, great. Great.
I did get a quote for a TV. We had talked last time about replacing the television in the day room. They were able to find a smart TV at Walmart for $497.99. So that's under that $500 donation that we had gotten, which I realize isn't just as easy as here's the check, here's the money. But so we were able to find one kind of under that threshold.
Okay. Fiscal officer Larry, the last, separate from the $500 that was just donated, is there a donation category, or do we? And if so, what is in there? Thank you.
So do you know what prompted the donation?
Yes.
I mean, I know what the incident was, but what prompted them to go ahead and donate?
Just to say thanks that we spent the day out there. we have that from time to time. I mean, if we go out to residents' houses and we'll have residents that will drop off donations. Yeah, it's not like a regular thing, but it does happen from time to time, so.
What size TV is that?
It's a 65-inch, which, I'll be honest, means not like I don't know. I'm a very visual person. I don't know.
Corner to corner is how they measure TV.
Yep.
I never watch mine, but. All right, well, he's looking for that number. Do you want to jump over to Verizon Upgrades?
I do. I just wanted to check and see. I had gotten a couple of different things from Verizon now that we may have stuff that needs upgraded. So I just wanted to check and see, do we know for a fact if we have things that need to be upgraded that are on our Verizon bill? This is probably another fiscal.
A lot of times they send it out, you really don't need to do it, they just want you to do it because you're now eligible. But
Well,
I
this
thought they
was
were
for our
going to-
modems though, which,
Yeah, they're gonna discontinue servicing their 3G networks.
yeah,
Yeah.
so this worried me that our modems, which is what we use to transmit our EKGs to the hospital, might be on this list.
Yeah, I think
Oh,
if you
okay.
call them with your account number, they can
They
tell.
don't usually like to talk to me because I'm not the actual person on the account.
Okay, well, maybe, they can tell from your
Okay.
account.
So we're worried about
If
the
you're up-
modems in the actual fire
In the heart
station.
monitors. The modems.
Oh, in the heart monitors.
is
I
what
got
I'm
it.
worried about.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
got it.
that those are what need to be
Okay.
upgraded.
All right.
That's what I'm worried about.
And we, Verizon bills us for the modems and the heart monitors.
$14.10 a month.
It's
Per monitor, I'm sure.
Probably.
Okay.
it's the same as if you have a Verizon home phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's got the same.
Yeah.
Same model.
so it's just sending it to the hospital.
Mhm.
Because those are pretty new heart monitors, aren't they?
No.
I thought we replaced one.
So we did replace one. We bought one and then the other one, but it's been at least probably 6 or 7 years. Yeah, they're not new.
No, I thought we talked about, don't they do something to them yearly, a maintenance?
They
or-
just came and did that, yep.
Yeah,
They did the
they just did
maintenance on them,
maintenance
but
on
that's
them.
separate from the modems. The modems are Verizon, that's not for the actual monitors, that's just how we're sending stuff. So. 32 calls, 27 ALS calls, 1 BLS, 4 fire calls, 3 assists from Lewis Felch, 1, I think at least one of those was on a second call, which is what we had today, just back-to-back calls. And then 2 assists, 1 to Lewis Felch and 1 to Nimichellen.
Okay, great.
Right now, in your gift and donations, I have budgeted $500. We have received $965. 500 of that was that part of the 965.
So if we were to approve a television, we would be able to.
You're talking, it would be, you've received 965, I'm only budgeted 500. If you spend 500, you just used all your gift and donation. If it's 497, you don't have anything else appropriated right now and in the budget.
Okay.
There's money in there, but
Got
then it has to be recertified, such as that $500 that was just received.
Okay. So what else do we spend? What else do we typically spend out of that line item on a regular yearly basis?
Usually, the thing that would happen, like say, just little things, such as something that the fire station needed up there.
Okay.
If there was something, and I'm not saying little, just, usually I put 500 to 1,000. Usually it's been 500 on the gifts and donations, because some years you notice I budget 500, but we got $965 in.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get.
Right.
Some years you got a couple grand in there.
Yeah. Some
And
years
we
not.
still,
Yeah.
we
I got you.
still don't have the year end yet. We still could receive more money.
Okay.
But when I rate the budget at 500, if we need to spend more than that, then I have to certify any money over that 500, come back to you, you give me a resolution, and we
Okay.
can spend.
And you said the TV that's there right now is being borrowed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
somebody
we
brought it in from
give
their
that
house.
back.
And the purchase of that's $497.
Yeah, this one here that they gave me.
All right, trustee Varian moves to pay for a TV in the day room for $497 from the vendor of Walmart, being paid out of the donations.
Question, as
Yep.
you're doing your resolution, is somebody gonna buy that and then we reimburse them? Because we do not have an account with Walmart, there'll be tax and all that other
Yep.
stuff.
So what works best for you?
A reimbursement. So
Okay.
What, but you
They
should check into, because you shouldn't pay tax on it. Correct?
I don't have. an
Not you,
account.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, they
I
may
don't
have
have
a
an
form
account,
up there that
so-
you guys can fill out.
They may.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're gonna pay the tax and you're
Sure.
not gonna get it reimbursed.
Understood.
Okay.
Amy and I'll handle that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We'll get it. We'll get it.
Trustee Bureau seconds.
Okay.
You better vote.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The Verizon upgrade, are we gonna table that for now, or do we need to make a phone call?
I just think someone needs to make the call and find out if if the modems need changed. If they do, I think that date on that's coming up pretty
Do
quick.
we call the people,
I'm in the office tomorrow. I got all the bills.
You're
I
right.
can do the call
Yeah,
tomorrow.
it's December 31st.
All right.
Okay.
Fiscal Officer Larry said he can handle that call tomorrow. Thank you very much for doing that. Okay, we have the last thing on the fire side of things, and we'll move on to the next one. We have a then and now for R&B's truck and trailer service for the repair for the wrong fuel in the squad. Chief and I have had a conversation about this. The bill is $294.60. As a point of reference, $60 of this is fuel. So, I mean, I know it's still it's still a $300 bill, but 60 of it is 10 gallons of fuel, which is probably sitting in the tank right now. So when you think about that, you can kind of take that 60 gallons out of that. Chief Parker and I talked a little bit about this. Obviously, this was a mental error on one of the firefighters. They put the wrong fuel in the wrong truck. Luckily, they didn't drive it down the street because this bill would have been way bigger than $300, injectors and everything else. So we did dodge a little one there, but we also talked about policies and procedures. She already has talked to a couple folks, and she's going to talk to the group as a whole, and just keep reminding them when both of them are on, just be paying attention to that. The person that obviously, the person that made the mistake probably will never do it again because they felt awful about it, of course. But we wanted to talk about, making sure this doesn't happen in the future. Obviously, we're all human, but we wanted to have that conversation because it is a $300 chunk of money that was a mental error. So we have that then and now.
Trustee Griffith seconds that we pay it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Anything else for fire? Okay, moving along. Cemetery report.
I'll make this quick. I won't ask for any money.
Come forward then.
I need signatures for this deed. I sold 2 lots. For those lots, I'm submitting $1,100 along with $800 from an open closing we had this week.
Thanks.
And that's all I have.
Keep it rolling in, Ron.
Nice seeing you. Okay, great. Yeah. Anything else for cemetery?
Just, the only thing I can think to mention is that we are still planning to do that pine tree at St. Paul's. We're just waiting on Tyler for a date when that may happen.
Okay.
Trustees, I also had received $800 prepay from Donna Fisher. And I know Ryan, it was in between him getting these checks, so I updated him, but we did receive that also. So that's an additional $800
Okay.
since the last meeting.
Last meeting. All right.
That concludes the cemetery report.
All right. When Tyler gets back to you, we're going to be helping with that, correct?
Yes.
We're going to be participating in that project. All right. So I assume when Tyler calls you, send on the word. All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you and good night.
Okay, thanks so much. Road report.
Good evening, everybody. Trustees have looked over the road report. Any questions you'd like to ask?
Did our favorite contractor cash a check?
Present time, he has not cashed the check as of yesterday.
I haven't heard anything else from him, so I just.
We just received, he did reach out to our attorney with some questions and his concerns. But since then, the attorney Hall offered to tell him he's welcome to come and talk to the board.
All right. I just was curious.
Yeah, and I haven't not heard from him.
Okay.
So what'd you make out about the bus stop signs?
That, we ended up getting a email, which we made a copy of it. I took that back up to the school. The school was, they were the ones that had to send that to the state,
Okay.
not us. I talked to Mark Walker, and they're taking it from there with them. Hopefully it will be done. He says they'll get the signs and everything and put them up. We don't have to
Okay.
worry about paying for anything. So it's in the school and the state's hands with all that.
Good deal.
Do we need to contact the family, or do they know we're working?
They
on it?
already know. I talked to them and let them know that the state and the school is dealing with that.
I bumped
It
into
could
Lindsay.
take, yeah, it could take, a week or two. They might even do like a little study or something. So
to see
you know
what's-
how that goes. Yeah, you got to go through the right
Understood.
channels. in order to do it.
So what was the price on the arrow signs? Did you get it back?
I do. The smaller arrow sign down by Vincent's, I think was 160. The big one at the top of the hill at Hill Church by Kiko's daughter and son-in-law, that's 190. Oh, I'm trying to remember what the smaller little arrows on both sides of the big arrow sign. I got it in my booklet in there. It's not cheap.
It's not cheap.
Is there any way to refurbish the signs that have been
Nope.
painted?
I asked her that, like we do the stop
Like you
signs
stick
and
a
the speed
sticker over
limit.
it.
She told me, she goes, the only thing they do so far in those stick-ons is the stop signs and speed limit signs. They have never went far enough to do
The
the
arrow
big
sign.
arrows and stuff like that. So, yeah, we can't get those.
Is there? I mean, I'm just asking. Is there some such thing as a core? Can you send back those signs that have graffiti on them? Or they sand them down and reuse? I mean, there's nothing wrong with the metal.
I'd have to call her
I
now.
didn't know.
That's what I was
I mean,
gonna
you
say,
throw them in the
because-
garbage can. They're gonna literally,
Well, I think we ought to just
stamp
keep
out a
them
new
because
one.
they're gonna come out with stickers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
wouldn't,
you're right.
I wouldn't throw them away because they're not really
Yeah, hang on.
damaged. They're just
Yeah.
Paint it
painted on.
over. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They weren't shot with a shotgun.
All right, it's that big hole in it.
Rifle or whatever, hit.
We're gonna send a bill to, what's his name, Corey? Said he wrote his name on the back of it? Send the bill to him? Okay. Cody, maybe?
Yeah. So, by tomorrow, we should be done with having all the roads fixed and prepped and ready to go for 2020. I talked to Art today. Last week, he said he'd probably be here tomorrow afternoon, but talking to him today with some of this rain they've been having, it's backing them up a little bit. So he might not get here till about Thursday or something now. But that's all right. It's supposed to be really hot later in the week going into next week. So
Yeah, like the next 6 days.
yeah.
Straight sun and hot.
Trustees, tonight I had prepared the Durapatcher emulsion, and I noticed that when I used up that purchase order, I only have $580 left. And I do have one bill that is yet to pay that wasn't part of that. So I might ask.
And he went and got a new load today.
I might ask Stu if he has a projection to do the southern routes or anything else, what he projects, because we need to ask for some more, a purchase order for some more Durapatches.
Do we have budget for it?
Yeah, we're good. The first one was $10,000, and we're just now using that up on everything on the north side. Now, I don't know if the south side's gonna be, Stu can tell
No,
you
the
guys.
south side isn't as bad.
Each load is running.
It's hard for me to guess at it right now.
Each,
I would say,
each load is running about $770, 240 gallons.
about
I
220 to 240.
So-
Yeah, gallons every time, but.
5 loads is under 5,000. If you go 7 loads, you might use up 5,000.
Well,
I'm hoping we don't go over
if we did what, 5 loads?
3-4 loads.
Proved up to that for now, you're not gonna use all that by next meeting anyway.
Yeah.
So if you needed
Yeah.
some more, we could go into a smaller amount.
So I just approve for 5,000.
If the weather's right.
I usually do a blanket certificate of
5.
5, and then if we don't
Yeah,
use it,
5.
I can close it out.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then you start it anew next year.
Trustee Carroll moves to approve a blanket of 5,000 for Durapatch.
Trustee Griffith seconds.
All those in favor?
Uh,
All right.
Yeah, the last load we had there caused us some problems.
I'll bring up another one. Stu, the only reason Stu don't know these is when I was doing the bills, Macintosh, our fuel, I just burned up the last of that, there's only $50 left.
Oh, okay.
So we just paid that, but usually you go out 5,000 on that. I don't think you have to go that far right now. You might only go like 2,500, for example. We do have funds for that.
Well, we're gonna use it for pushing snow, right?
Well, that's in a different fund.
Oh, it is.
This fund is the fund that I always use to do maintenance, like it's called supply. This is stuff that he
Okay.
would use, like your fuel, your emulsion to repair roads and work on roads. When it comes to salt, I use salt or plowing, I use that out of a different fund.
What do you think? 3 grand, 2,500?
Three.
We're
I
gonna
would say
need,
at least
we're gonna
3.
need, our gas tanks get low. We filled that up last year, early last
Instead of
year.
500 gallon.
500, but we only put like 400,
Okay.
350 or 400 in it now.
That's
You know,
what,
all this time it's
something.
taken to,
so if you figured 5 a gallon, that's 2,000.
Yeah.
So you might as well put it in for like 2,500.
You want
You're gonna
2,500?
get one tank.
Do you want 2,500 for gas and 2,500 for fuel?
Just say fuel.
I still have a little in there. I'd like to see if maybe the price would go back down. We could.
Yeah. Yeah, if it goes down, it lasts so long. You're nice to get it low. 'Cause
It's been sitting, around 86 a barrel for about 5-8 days. You're gonna see it head back up.
Yeah.
So if you wanna catch it, you wanna catch it while it's down.
So do you need, what do you need? You need,
Just to open a blanket up, I always like to sign it to Macintosh for the road.
Hey, I wouldn't get no 300-400 gallon. I'd only get like 200 or something like that. For the most part, we're only using it as a Chevy.
does it cost us more for them to bring 200? I mean, does it cost a service trip?
Not if they're putting diesel here. You
No,
still-
okay.
No. And
So how much, what do you want that blanket to be? 25 gas, 25 fuel, 5,000 total?
You can do that if you like to do it
Okay,
that
so-
way. Just, it's easier to say $5,000
Yeah, no, I want
Macintosh for road
separate.
fuel.
Okay.
And then I can, depending on how Stu has a demand, if more
Okay.
diesel is used, you use more diesel.
Trustee Varian moves to open up a blanket for fuel paid through Macintosh for 5,000.
Trustee Carroll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Time for tough, get red. I'm just kidding about that.
Anything else for the road?
I have not heard anything from Dan here. I was kind of hoping Art would come in and get everything done and out of here. He only be here for maybe 2-3 days to do everything.
Did you order your replacement pipe to the pipe to replace what we used? Not yet. Okay.
No,
Did you order the dirt to replace?
I told Denny when we're
Sore
ditching,
subject.
we'll bring some back
Sore
down.
subject. Sore subject. Let's move on.
I know I read about your Strasser, but I have not received a bill or the final on Strasser for doing the micro sealing. Yeah, I haven't received that. That should be coming. They're officially done, right, last weekend? The micro
Yes.
sealing.
Yes.
All right, nothing else for the road. Let's move on to the zoning report.
Since the last meeting, I didn't issue any permits, but I have an application on the desk right now that just came in today, so that'll be showing up on there. Over on the nuisance side, I took a better look at the truck over on Lucy. It does not meet the requirements, but I'll keep an eye over that way, make sure the pile doesn't grow and become worse. Swollen, I haven't been out there past week. I haven't heard any change yet. Over on Indian Run, it looks like they're cleaning it up. They're doing an okay job keeping it mowed down.
There is somebody actually living in that camper though.
On Indian Run.
Yeah.
Well, I went down, what road was it? Down Westfall, and there was like a van sitting over the ditch.
That's been there for,
Well, that's.
It looked like it's been
minors.
there for a long time, but
they cleaned, it took a couple of cars out of there now. But the van is the only one left, and it's right there at the end of where the ditch opens up then.
yeah.
When I cleaned that ditch last time, I was just able to clean there without,
Around the van.
yeah,
Cleaned right around
hitting taking the back bumper off the van to clean the
Jeez.
ditch and go east, away from it. It would be nice if they would get rid of that there, because it's,
Well, that's the
kinda
people
close
that
when you're
asked about
plowing.
closing the ditch in at one point.
that's a pretty deep ditch.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can see what happens when people close the ditches in. They come back to bite you.
Yeah.
So, get a weed eater.
Yeah.
I know it's nicer looking and it's easy to mow, but
Round up.
so Mary, do you still have the high grass then around Indian Run too?
Not in front of the house. It's along the driveway and in front of the house is all moved down now. It's just where the tree line comes in. That side has some line.
Okay. I think our discussion before was, he said that's agricultural growth.
Okay. Growing weeds.
I take the
For
S off
harvest.
there. No.
Weeds for harvest. Yeah, right.
Weed seed.
And I know before last meeting you tried to get hold of me. I haven't talked to him or heard anything from him since.
There's definitely an effort being made, which is great.
There is, and we've not
There's
seen the
definitely an effort
dancer in
being
the
made.
street.
I
any.
mean, yeah, there's an effort being made, which
So
is
things have improved.
we have to start somewhere. So,
And then over on Ravenna, that building without permit, I talked to the building department today. They haven't received anything yet. And I believe their compliance order came up maybe end of last week, beginning of this week.
okay.
So I'll look into what the next moves are there and see what happens.
Okay.
And the house over on Georgetown with the high grass hasn't been mowed yet. I reached out to them again today, see if they'll do anything.
Which part of Georgetown is that?
It's Georgetown and 12, almost out of it's just inside the township.
Is that the
line.
one that says at the Y?
Oh, that little side street? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the little side street that goes
Yeah.
over and ties into Broadway.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
Canton now.
I don't think so. I think, from what I'm told, the son and daughter take care of it.
Okay.
But
Is there still vehicles sitting there with the tree growing through it?
I don't know.
Okay.
Grass is kind of tall, you can't really see anything in there.
Let's see, there's a house in there.
That's close to where Rick lives.
All the vans sitting there with the trash and all.
Yeah,
that stuff.
windows all blown out of it, yeah.
From-
Someone's doing stuff in that building, but it's a different parcel.
Yeah,
They're actively coming and going out of that building, but that's a different parcel than this.
The parcel behind it, which across the street, there's a farm he owns that.
God,
from my understanding, that property there is tied up in court.
Okay.
I think it's
Yeah.
still the same people.
well, they had two. They had a
They-
property in the village
this-
and then
this-
this.
The
Both
surveyor,
What was her name?
isn't it, Holden?
Holden, yeah.
I
Holden.
think they
Yeah.
still, he died, but I think.
Yeah, the kids own it
Holding
still, or
it,
have
still
it.
have
But they
more or
live
less.
down, they
That's
live a
what's
bit farther
tied up
down
in
on
court.
Georgetown. They
Yeah.
live down by Stark Parks.
Oh, okay.
the one that passed away, his parents lived down there by the Stuck Park, but I think
That's the
that's
parcel behind.
where the trail, old railroad bed.
Yeah.
Just an update, I think it's kind of nice to see, but at the end of Nickel Plate, that property with the moat in front of it, that's been an eyesore, has a for sale sign in the yard.
Well, they've done that.
They-
They have spent a ton of time and energy
looks
on that
nice.
property. It looks nice. So hopefully a family buys it and keeps it nice. Actually, if you notice, they removed the big moat and made a smaller
Yeah,
moat in the
they
front.
They really fixed it.
Yeah,
It
the
looks
retaining
like-
wall that they built, they brought it down so you can see more of the house. Yeah, but there's a for sale sign for it. I don't know if they're done, but it's for sale now. So
They've done quite a bit of
they've
work.
done quite a bit of work to it. Yeah, it needed a lot of work. It's kind of nice to see that house.
I will mention that on our senior housing, the applications are going to be processed here in September. And move-in will be end of October, 1st of November.
Oh wow,
And so those
Everyone's going to
houses,
town.
fine.
those houses are going to start hitting the market.
The people that
Yeah.
yeah, you're gonna see an increase in East Canton housing.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. That's exciting.
A lot of them are in the township too.
Yeah.
And then on the commission side, they have a meeting in September on the 19th. At our last meeting, they looked over the map. They're going to send it back to our person we're working with. And
The consultant, so when I was trying to, he gave me the directions, because that map's live interactive. Anything that I touched, he sees. Well, the thing on this little ThinkPad, whatever we have here is so little, when I would try to click on something, it would go across a couple things. It was just like, this isn't working. Because you had to drag. And so instead of me marking everything that they want to change, it was easier for me to
send it back to him, have it marked out, and then delete later.
I verbally told them what they wanted, because they wanted it by parcel number. And so he can mark it and send it back. It was taking too long. So hopefully he has it back by then. I'll send him another reminder now.
Okay. And then on the Board of Zoning Appeals side, they have 2 hearings on September 6th. One over on Broadway and one over on Hillvale.
I want to publicly thank Mary for the Sindel property. I think I've called her early, late on the weekend. The phone rings and she's probably like, why is
What's
he
the
calling me?
Sindel property then?
It's a property beside Roberto's,
Oh,
little
yeah.
parcel there. Talked to, I know Jackie reached out and talked to the lawyer, I reached out. And I also reached out to Canton Township. And they do it where the buyer signs all the paperwork, applies for it as it, and then the seller signs off on it, and it's legal that way to go through instead of having to force it through twice.
Okay. So then what's the Broadway one?
Broadway is over by Walters. It's that driveway that goes back. It's for shipping container house and cabins.
Oh, yeah. So what? Oh, so they're going to BZA for approval for that,
For a variance.
for the shipping containers.
Because they are looking at putting a shipping container house and then quite a few like little cabins around the pond.
Okay.
Which property was that?
It's,
right next to Bud and Betty Breckville,
yeah,
It's the one
back
on the
behind
crest.
there.
up farther.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Right
right
here.
here.
Right
That
there with
long
the
lane
two
goes right
ponds.
back here, way back into the backs.
Yeah.
Brian, up back in here.
I got
Is it the 2 ponds we're seeing in the middle of the screen?
Yep.
So they're putting it around those 2 ponds.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. So if the Board of Zoning Appeals approves a variance, that's the first step, and they're gonna have to do the building department to approve it, correct?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be a container, which is not a foundation, which they're gonna have to fight that. Okay. Okay.
And do we have something in there on buildings that are not on foundations, I thought, on our zoning?
I know trailer houses. They have to go through the BZA to be approved, and then they have to be set on a foundation.
Yeah, but we have something on like little storage buildings that aren't, they're like on skids. You can actually drag them.
I'm not sure. I'll have to double
I mean,
check on that.
I'm assuming these little houses are gonna be like that. You can move them.
I'm not quite sure how they're going
But I
to
would
do it.
think they'd have to stay permanent if they were gonna hook to a
They're hooked
septic.
septic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those storage containers are a lot bigger than any of those little buildings.
Yeah, I don't, you need a big dozer to pull that.
All right, anything else for zoning?
They're not-
That's all I have.
All her meetings have been posted on our line on public notice and are scheduled for print in the Alliance review section of public notice.
And I've sent out letters to the neighbors.
Okay. All right, old business, fiscal officer to give update on electric aggregation.
Trustees, did you receive the emails?
Yes.
Yes.
Any questions on those emails? Because I've fired questions to Jay to look in for us. Such as, like if someone wants to, that isn't on existing or was on existing electric aggregation with us, what paperwork and documents we need to do, and he's going to get that for us. He said primarily all this stuff's going to happen in October with the main mailings going out in November. But I can post stuff on the website regarding it. I've asked Bill Schlich, our IT guy for the website, to help me with the design of a tab so we can put electric aggregation or updated information right on there so that you can click on it if you want to get a form, if you want to try to, if you're not on it and you want to sign up, then that way if you trustees get asked that question, is there a form? I'm not a contractor. I've never been on it, but I'd like to get on it because that could happen. So
Okay.
I am working on that.
Great.
I know if you read that email, March 23rd of next year, we received a $60,000 civil grant that can be used for capital improvements.
So it'd be nice if we could get something out there that at least gives our rate, so that if people are thinking about making a switch here, then they can decide, because if they switch and sign with someone else, they're probably getting locked into something for at least a year.
That's what
Rather they want to switch or wait for a few months.
That's what I have there that I worked on because I wanted to let you all first have some time for questions and things so I could work on it because that's my goal is to put it out there right now on the website. And then if someone hits you up saying, well, what is our rate? We know what our rate's going to be effective December billing. That's at 0.0795.
All right, the $60,000 grant is coming through who?
That's Harbor Energy.
Okay.
They will issue that on sometime in that first week or two of March. So I will be putting that on January 1st when we do our funds that I'll say I'll receive, and I'll make that money available for you all to spend in the 2023 year.
All right, update on Sucos.
Phil and I have been watching what's going on there. Over the weekend, there was signs up, real estate signs up on Saturday. I did not go by there Sunday, but there was 5-6 cars there, people flowing in and out of there. He sent me a text just a few minutes before the meeting, about 6:30, saying that he hadn't got to talk to Mr. Sucos, but he wanted to know if they were complete because he has the crew ready to go in and gut everything out, the cleanup crew. Because I mentioned to him that the road was closed the week prior, and I didn't see anything going on over there on that weekend for anything. So that was the other thing. He's going to get back with me on that. The other thing was we received one bill for electric when they first hooked up with $7 and some change. And I just received one actually in the mail today for $25 and some change. I've been forwarding them and Jimmy Beck's Mowing right to them, to the Huntington Bank, and they've been paying them almost within a few days or taken care of. So
Right.
just let you know, Phil stood by his word on anything he said about that, so.
Great.
So Brian, my only question is, the trust is paying all this, and how long are we committed to letting these people take their time there?
There isn't no commitment other than he told him 2 weekends, so that's where I asked Phil, okay, you had your 2 weekends, what happened? He
Yeah.
says, no, he says, we will go in and we will
Okay.
clean it out. It's like, I don't want to say evict them, but he said,
Yeah, I
we go in.
don't want to give them any more time.
And it was last weekend and this weekend, is that right?
It was supposed to be the last weekend we just had, it was supposed to be the weekend before. Phil was out of town that
Okay.
week, and he said, I didn't go over by there. And I said, well, I did,
Well,
and I didn't see anything going on last weekend.
online it says the sale's already occurred and it states the 2 dates, the 20th, 21st.
Okay.
So it looks like it's closed. The sale is now closed. It's got pictures and such and the
Yeah.
address and everything.
So what should happen now this week, he should be confirming it and lining up, because
Okay.
the cleanup, he has the company that they deal with that goes in there to get it out.
Okay.
Because I emphasized to him that the trustees want to get in there so we can get people in, evaluate it, look it over. Because there's all kinds of things to be considered, septic systems, water systems, winterizing it, things like that. I mean, it's supposedly up and running, basic wiring, but the wiring, I know Trustee Puro mentioned about electrician, different things that we need to evaluate to see if we can even utilize it rough to have something over there to get going.
Okay. All right, new township business. Anything? All right.
I've not heard back from the conservation guy yet,
Okay.
so I don't know if the road closed if he didn't get there.
I did talk to Phil about that guy coming.
Okay.
And what's his name?
Leslie, Joe Leslie.
Yeah, he said that he has permit, he said if the trustees let them know, anyone like that, environmental, whether it's environmental or any people that want to come in to evaluate the building, the structure, free reign. He says, you don't have to call and ask me.
Okay.
He said, you can go.
Okay.
Okay. But I think we need to make them identify themselves so we don't have everybody just walking around.
Walking around, yeah. Sure. All right, seeing nothing else, make a motion to adjourn.
So,
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really fun to see it. See your house come home. I'm gonna drive by and see them building stuff. Been a long time coming. You guys have worked hard for that for a lot of years. When did you start that committee?
Well, we did, it started when, here at the township, and we didn't have a comprehensive plan, because we're required by law to have one.
Okay.
So I said, we have to have a comprehensive plan, and then we decided, since the village